Hello everyone, and welcome to a cube draft on Magic Online. My name is Chris Morris-Lent, or CML, and we'll be cubing with the Modo cube, which could be a lot better, as I'm sure you know that I think, but it also could be a lot worse. Basically, a few days ago they announced a lot of changes to the Modo cube, and you can find them on the mothership, and I really approve of all of them. Aggro is much more of a strategy now because they added a bunch of 2-drops as well as a bunch of fixing, especially in the form of pain lands, which are much better fixing for an aggro deck than they are for a control deck. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Okay, so Ink Eyes is probably the most powerful card here, but I'm not sure if black's the best in the Modo cube. We kind of need to get something like Recurring Nightmare or Phyrexian Arena to have a really sweet black deck, or something like Necropotence, but that would stick us in mono black. Basically, the quality of the black cards is very polarized. I think Noble Hierarch is also an option. Gilded Lotus if you want to stay colorless, but I really don't want to. Reckless Charge, we could cut red and go for that sort of thing, but it's not nearly as powerful as these things. Maybe if we pick Ink Eyes too, we can wield the Innocent Blood or go for the Throat, both of which are fairly powerful. Mindslaver I'm not really thinking about too much, but it seems like a possibility as well. I'm just going to go with Ink Eyes, having never played with it before. Alright, so this isn't such a bad pack to get past. We see Tragic Slip and Guldra's Assassin in our colors. Guldra's Assassin is worth considering in the Modo cube because although there are a ton of sweepers in this, there's also quite a dearth of spot removal, and a lot of the spot removal can't target black creatures anyway, so he'll be unopposed a much greater percentage of the time than he ought to be if the cube were better designed. The other thing about him is that he's a little slow, but aggro isn't all that good, just mainly because it's a huge cube and all sorts of reasons like that. Sublime Archangel, okay, well, tokens isn't really a strategy here. I'm not so concerned about a 4/3 that just dies to a removal spell. Charms and Thoktar are both fairly bad, way too hard to cast. Well, Divine Cloak and Birthing Pod and Cathedral of War should just never be in any cubes, so yeah, we're gonna go with Tragic Slip. Okay, this is a fairly late prime time and a really late Swords to Plowshares. Lightning Helix obviously not being the powerhouse that it is in Constructed because the life gain is a lot less relevant and the difficulty in casting is a lot more relevant. Actually, Chandra Nalaar is a really powerful card in cube. Her mana cost being 5 doesn't really matter so much. You can take her up, you can take out most anything with her. She'll ultimate quite plausibly. The Quadus' Champion is pretty bad. Priest of Urabrask is another laughable inclusion. Well, Primetime is good, but it's not as good in cube unless you get something like Maze of Ith, or another sweet land that you can tutor up with them, but mainly Maze of Ith, because who are we kidding? I'm just going to go with Dismember. Stick in the mono black strategy. Don't actually often draft black in this format, so you know. Alright, so this is a really interesting pack. It's, I think, the best designed of the packs so far. We get a 3/1 first strike for 2, and 2 life, but whatever. Magnet is really bad on cube, Brain Freeze is garbage. Char, I guess, is one of those cards that you have to include when you have such a massive 720 card cube. Revoker is good. I really approve of Revoker, but I think it would be a mistake to pass the Planeswalker here. Sarkhan's really good. It gives you card advantage in a very black sort of way, by which I mean it won't necessarily say draw a card. It will have a lot of intrinsic tempo advantage in the same way that Phyrexian Arena or Barter and Blood will. I think I'm going to go with Sarkhan and figure out the whole red thing. Phyrexian Rager is another good example of what black should be doing in cube. Alright, so This is kind of a funny pack. Thawing Glaciers is a card that is exactly as glacial and dirtily as it sounds. It's not very good anymore in this cube, and frankly I don't think it should be good in a well-designed cube. I took it out of mine. Wall of Reverence is really strong. It's probably the strongest card in this pack. Crusader isn't nearly enough support for, but on the other hand he does hose people out of nowhere. So that's another stupid inclusion that shouldn't be in there. Tails is fun. Masticore, let's see. Are we going to be drawing enough cards and binning enough creatures to do Masticore? I suppose so. This guy's pretty good. Let's give him a go. Cost sort. Alright. So what do we have here? Messenger is still a really repressive mana cost. I don't think I'd ever go for that card. Gaia's Cradle is probably the most powerful card here. Coffers, of course, another mono black option. Persecute is really good because it hoses those mono strategies that people sometimes do. I'm not sure we're going to be aggressive enough for Aristocrat or have the kind of synergies there that we're going to need. Coffers and Messenger, really one or the other will wheel. Well, you never know. Like Oust and Prey Upon Her and Into the Royal are very good, as is Gaia's Cradle. I'll go with Persecute, I guess. It's a slower format, so 4-mana discard spell that hits a couple things is actually very good. Okay, so Spinning Darkness, terrible. Jack for red cards. There's sort of a reanimation theme in this pack with the two fatties and the enabler and the actual reanimation spell. Augur of Bliss I'd probably just whiff on all the time, even if I did decide to go into blue. Prowler. Let's go with Prowler, sure. Alright. Maybe we should go mono black though. Let's check this out. Phyrexian Obliterator. Like, the strongest card in the pack has got to be Trigon Predator. Meloku's also really good. Tithe is strong. Meloku also has some nice synergies with retrace spells, the kind of which you want to be playing pretty much all the time in a blue deck. Call the Skybreaker and Spitting Image, my favorite. The Predator is so good. Well, let's give the Obliterator a try. Maybe we can do some sort of pox thing. Alright, Mindslaver Wield, which is interesting. Seems like a really strong card, especially in a somewhat slower format like this, but the format's gotten a little faster. Lava Claw Reaches would actually be very good for us, but so it would fix, but then in order to actually activate it, we'd need another red source, which would make it hard to play Obliterator, so we'd have to get a Badlands or something like that. The chances of which aren't all that high, and whatever, we'll take Innocent Blood. Removal is underrated. Pyrokinesis is really good. Tybalt is, of course, as horrible as he has been all his life. It was funny when I wrote that article about why he should be good. I got so excited. It was just a bunch of crap, though. I believed it at the time, but only because I wanted to. Okay. And none of these cards should ever be in the cube. Well, whatever. I have a tough choice here between Rager and Revoker. Something like Revoker, though, answers a Walker. Oh, Rager is strong, though. I might need a little more. Let's go with Revoker. I don't see this deck playing Dothy Horror, so Active Aggression is fine. Wheeling Cabal Coffers is totally wonderful, of course. That's why you read the signals, and it's not so important when you're drafting to send out signals, because who cares what other people are going to make of them. Even though this is going to be a fairly tough draft, it's, you know, single elimination, or 8-4, if you will. So, what do we have here? Diabolic Servitude is a lot of fun. Despise is good. Despise is certainly a strong card. It'll wheel. I'm just mainly looking at Shield Red, who's a very difficult to answer bomb. And since we got Coffers, could conceivably cast her a lot more quickly than we might otherwise do. Maybe we won't even play Sarkin the Mad. Soren's Thirst is also pretty decent, especially with the format getting faster. The life gain is more relevant and it's less situational. I don't think this is a Scroll Rack deck. I think Scroll Rack is abstractly pretty powerful. Other things that people really undervalue are dorks. Stuff like almost inflexible cryptic command is good. Whether Wayfarer is a house in cube, people shouldn't pass him nearly as much as they should. Let's just take Shield Red. A friend of mine one time wrote a beautiful limerick about Shield Red, but I can't reproduce it here for this family website. If you want, though, just shoot me a message on Facebook or wherever, and I can ship it over your way. So this Chandra is a lot worse than 3 double red Chandra. I don't know why this is in the cube. It doesn't do anything. Bane of the Living. Yeah, could use a sweeper. We have not so much. I guess we have a few low toughness creatures. Obviously this guy will just ruin our day. I'm somewhat disgusted that I pick a Corlash, heir to Blackblade, because Grandeur is conceivably one of the worst mechanics to put in a cube, alongside Pyromancer Ascension. Well, Corlash for Wheel and Bane won't. I don't really want anything else out of this pack. Just take Bane. I'm going to pay attention to our cube, though, or our curve. It's got to be a lot shallower than it is right now. Okay, so here we have Santa Claus, albeit with much inferior art. It's probably the strongest card here. A lot of fixing. Terrible Sphere. Well, let's see. Force of Will, I never understood why you'd want to put that in your cube. Huntmaster is obviously very good. This says if you control a Planeswalker, win target game, which is another thing that strikes me as bad taste. We have a lot of 4s already, but Necrotal is really good. Or do we need Thoughtseize more? Well, let's give Thoughtseize a try. I haven't really played with that card so much. Okay, so I think we're going to take Corpse Dance here. I'm going to read the card again, though. It seems very abusable. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step, so... What if it just died before then? Do we have any way to make it die before then? I'll keep kicking ass all over the place with it. Exile it. Maybe we should hide Sarkin. Bane of the Living. Oh, I see. You could do it on their end step too. Or our own end step. That would be nice. Any ETB effects? Well, it seems like something worth drafting around. It's kind of upsetting to pass the Stillmoon Cavalier, though, given how will hose us. Putting protection cards in a cube is a sign of really bad taste, in my humble opinion. Chromox is god-awful. Murderpod could be good. Don't think we want Ancient Tomb. The most powerful end in Legacy, certainly, but not in this format. Stuff adds up. Thornling could be bad. I guess we're just kind of stuck with the strategy, aren't we? We don't have enough small guys or tokens to sack to Mortarpod. Just Gloom Surgeon. Fine. Oh boy, Gravecrawler. Gloom Surgeon. It upsets me that he's not a zombie. I mean, there is this. A horror. A Masticore. An insect. Rat Ninja. Prider. Nightmare Horror. We've got some pretty lame creature types here. Okay. So we already have a Storm card without much Storm support. Really strong counterspell. Price of Progress, all the many non-basics, Tech Edge, Gravecrawler without so many zombies. Tribal is such a lazy way to make your cube interesting. It never works. I guess we could cast Kozilek off of Cabal Coffers, right? Whatever. Yeah, so Knight of Infamy, don't think we're aggressive enough. Let's just take Edict. So, I don't actually know what this guy does. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. No cards are in that graveyard. That'll happen all the time. Not very many fetches. I think we picked up enough removal that we don't need Slaughter Pact, even though Slaughter Pact is kind of the best. I'm going with Grave Robber, sure, why not? Okay, Despiser, Sorin's Thirst. I can see this deck just staring at opposing Planeswalkers and getting murdered by them over the course of a depressing 8 or 9 turns. On the other hand, sort of one conditional removal, that kind of thing. I think we go with Despise. Of course, Wayfarer wheels because everybody's an imbecile. So we can't play Mishra's Factory because it's not a swamp for coffers. So it'd be nice to have Urborg too. And this is, of course, quadruple black. I gotta hide Sarkhan too. There's no way we're playing him. Nor are we gonna main deck Active Aggression. Nor Liquatus' Champion, nor God-Awful Spinning Darkness. Why don't I just take Korlash? Won't play him either. What is the worst card for us to see here? Obliterate, I guess. Oh, that's the Portal 3 Kingdoms Wildfire. Not bad. Jushi Apprentice we can just kill. It's fine. Could have snuck attacked. Sneak attacked. Snuck attack. Kozilek. Oh, these cards are horrible. Well, whatever. Caves, I guess. Cruel. What are the chances that the guy that we're passing to is going to be happy to pick up a Cruel or a Empty the Warrens, though? Some sort of joke. Okay. Oh boy. Let's open the 2 best walkers ever printed and not be in either color, huh? Is that what's going on? Furthermore, no mono black cards at all. Well, of course, this was always a possibility. We embarked on this questionable strategy. I've never really done this one before either. I usually like 3-color control or stupid aggro. This kind of dirtling is a little different than what I'm accustomed to. Well, we auto-lose to both cards, pretty much. To mention Avenger of Zendikar. Could we conceivably play a Vindicate? Off the Caves of Koilos? It doesn't seem like it's worth it. To put in more planes. No, we can't do that either. No fixing either for us. Could play on Burial Rites. Let's just hate Jace. This is depressing. Okay. On the other hand, getting past a Wormcoil is not depressing. Yeah, I suppose I don't need to mention that half the deck's just auto-scoop to this guy. I'll look at it. And then they scoop a lot of 6s in this one, huh? Fire Main, of course, is miserably weak compared to Yosei and Wormcoil. Yeah, take the Wormcoil. Could wheel Throat Slitter. I'd be happy to do that. I have a tribal rat ninja theme. Once again, no black cards. Urborg? Yeah, I could take Urborg. Happy to see Urborg, I guess. Maybe we can wheel Needle. Should we pick Needle and try to wheel Urborg? So Needle answers walkers. Answers stuff like Maze of Ith too, and Revoker doesn't. I think there are a number of cards or effects that we'd be weak to without Needle, so I'll take Needle. Yeah, we'll be Urborg, whatever. Yeah. Not the worst. I do like Phyrexian Arena for being strong against control decks, and conceivably an aggro shell as well, but it's about as ham-handed as an inclusion as Black Vice. I don't have any 5s. Puppeteer Click is good. Could kill their guy, reanimate it. We took Despise too, maybe we could hit a fatty. Well, it's a slow plan, but whatever. Yeah, Click. Cool. Nothing else even worth considering. Wait, Gatekeeper of Malakir, am I happy to see you? Well, I could always wheel it, though. Everything else that's super heavy black wheeled. Is anybody ever going to try to play Gatekeeper? We should probably take Doomblade, huh? Take Gatekeeper. It's a delightful card. I really love Gatekeeper. The other hilarious thing about Gatekeeper is that, well, it was one of 2 good cards. The other one being Calastria Highborn and the Zendikar Scars standard vampire deck. It was also emblematic of how black cards worked in Zendikar draft, where it would be very powerful, but also super color intensive, and people would want it right away. So Wrench Mind is good. I don't think Living Death is what we want, but Spectre seems like it's in the nuts, right? Again, a lack of spot removal makes creatures like this that, if you don't answer them, very strong. Lake of the Dead, huh? It was like 7 when this card was printed. Well, it's worth noting that we scooped to Worship. Well, maybe they wouldn't have a creature. Maybe we wouldn't scoop to Worship because we have Kozilek and stuff. I don't know why this isn't letting me scroll all the way up to see my picks. Oh. I don't think we'll play Lake of the Dead. Oh, maybe we should play Lake of the Dead. We have a lot of fatties. First person to have a satisfactory explanation for why this is included in any cube wins a signed Tinder wall from me. Sharpie and Cold Snap theme decks, not an actual Tinder wall. Well, nobody gets to fix. Okay, Throat Slitter Wheels, which is great. This is another card people shouldn't really ever pass, but they do. Yeah, I guess this pack is kind of emblematic of why the Modo Cube isn't well designed. Too situational, too hard to cast, not supported enough, and too situational, and not supported enough. Pulse also hoses aggro real bad. Vigilante is just a god-awful card, and this one is really strong. This is a single elimination one, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, with all the trash we're talking, we better do well. Seems very conceivable that we wouldn't, though. Take the P-Imp, as I like to call him. And yeah, I think we'll end up playing Kozilek, because why not? Yeah, just waiting for that last pick, Fire Pig, to roll around, but I just get so excited about a Fire Pig. Well, it's not as bad as Watch Wolf for the new Watch Wolf. Oh, it's funny, I thought about playing tokens in Modern, because Maelstrom Pulse is going to be played a lot more lightly now that Abrupt Decay is a thing. However, to Tension Sphere is also a thing, so that'll blow you out. And there's nothing more depressing than playing tokens. Like, sure, you lose to EE. Well, that's a good card, and it's supposed to hose you. And you lose to aforementioned Pulse. It's depressing, though, when a combo deck Echoing Truths your board. They're, like, very nice. Alright, let's build this bad boy. I'm just gonna tap or click down all the cards that I think. Oh, we didn't wheel Urborg. That is terrible. That is really bad. Go well with coffers.